Batman issue 82, which is Tom King and Mikel Janin on the art. This is City of Bane we're back to, and I'm almost getting whiplash here from going from John Romita Jr. to Mikel Janin.
I mean, if nothing else, I can be positive on something here because, oh hey, we have a good artist back.
Yeah, if only the story matched, and it didn't feel like a third of an issue.
Yeah, this was mostly one fight scene that was like fine. Like, yeah, it wasn't bad, but I mean, it was fine, and then had some terrible moments.
I'm starting to get decompression sickness from Tom King's Batman.
Are we going to be? I'm assuming Connor there is referring to the flip flop of the Nightfall backbreaker moment, where Batman holds Bane up above his head and then breaks his back.
Well, he doesn't actually get to break his back, does he?
No.
Oh, true. Yes, he's quite right. He gets interrupted.
He's got him up, and he's like, "I'm gonna break your damn back," and I'm like, "Ugh."
Now it's a throwback to something that I hated, and I am Suicide. So that's great.
It was just that was horrible. Like, I mean, I know I've mentioned some problems I've had with Bruce's dialogue over the last handful of issues, but like this is up there as terrible.
I didn't mind that. I did like the Catwoman showing up, to help. He's like, well, no, you're supposed to play by the rules. He's like, nah, that was the old me. Catwoman says I don't have to play by the rules anymore. Yes, so I kind of like that.
And then we have to go through Cat Got Your Tongue.
So I hated that a lot. and then I saw King and Garrett's talking about it on Twitter.
Oh, and he was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I've hit my peak ability now. Anything that you draw, Garrett, is going to be worse than this." Yes,
and he said, "I didn't want to put it in there, but I couldn't stop myself." And I think Taylor commented on it too. He's like, "Man, you're really setting the bar low for me for Suicide Squad," or something along those lines. So as long as he's self-aware enough about that, I'm okay with it. It still was a massive eye roll.
I mean, credit to King. I don't think I've ever gotten the impression that he's anything other than completely down to earth and self-aware of everything he's doing.
Yeah, I think that we should make that clear. As much as we're ragging on some of his writing, not him as a person.
Nah, he's always came across as a very down to earth guy. I've never felt otherwise. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. Like I hate it as much as you two do, but I don't particularly love it either. I got to the end because I think it flows well enough, and I wasn't like having a bad time reading it. But it got to the end and it said next time, and I went, oh wait, we're done? Okay, I guess that's over.
I don't even have me in it to hate this issue anymore. Like it's just it's such a non-issue because, like you said, like, oh, that's it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Pun intended. I'm assuming there.
So if I didn't know Phantasm was involved in Bat and Cat, I'd almost be like, no, I'll pass at this point. However, with Phantasm there,
I think there's a hope that the Batcat stuff, because it's its own self-contained 12-issue thing, though, it might be kind of the Mr. Miracle
it's
portion
one of those,
of Batman.
I don't know if it is, because it is kind of just the last 12 issues of his run. They just put it under a different title. I don't know how much of it's actually going to change.
But here's the thing. I wonder, like, because so much of his run in the last, like, say, 20, 30 issues has been criticised for being so weird and off-kilter and just refusing to do the normal thing. I wonder if, like, it's almost become that because he's trying to be like full Tom King, Mr. Miracle style, but he's having to hold back because it's a main Batman book, and we're getting this weird mishmash in the middle that's not really satisfying. I wonder if it now being its own thing, as separate 12 issues, means he can go full Tom King, and that actually might be beneficial overall.
Maybe, because I'm still really looking forward to Strange Adventures. Like,
me too.
100% for that book. I think I'm getting weary. I'm definitely over his Batman run at this point.
And also, add on to this, Mr. Miracle is one of the best things we've talked about since the start of this podcast. So,
well, I've still got nothing bad to say about that book.
Yeah, but I also feel like Josh Williamson on Flash too. I'm starting to feel weary that we're at this number, and
like especially with Tom King though, I'm feeling like we had Mr. Miracle, phenomenal. But then we had Heroes in Crisis. And Batman had its moments of brilliance earlier on. It absolutely did. And then we've had the last 30 issues.
But there's still bright spots in there. As much as I didn't like Nightmares, there was a couple of issues of Nightmares that I did like.
Hey, I'll stick up for that Mr. Freeze arc in the court. I will like that arc.
Mr. Freeze arc.
To be fair, I really like. Probably longer than 30 issues ago.
Yeah, but I think whenever we bring this up, we're really talking about the wedding onwards. That's really what we're talking about.
That's fair.
And I've seen so much social media about how the wedding killed everything, but I feel like that was the point. The point was that they pulled the rug out from under us, and people were expecting them to actually get married, and that was never the point.
I think there's a very fair point in saying that that's the splitting point. Like, even though I agree that the point was for them not to get married, I'm okay with that. But it does feel like I can relatively definitively split this run into pre and post wedding, and with a couple of exceptions on either side, can kind of confidently call one the good half and one the bad.
And it's basically since I Am Batman, which is the third arc, right? It has been this weird Tom King being experimental, even if it was the double date, right? That was after the first one, right?
Yeah.
After the third trade, I should say.
Yeah, that was after those 3 arcs, yeah.
Yeah, so like he's done these little things, and then that the Penguin story that like we're still not sure about his wife being a penguin or not, right? Like it's I've never had the doubt that this is exactly what Tom King wants to do, which good on DC for not editorializing him. I just maybe I don't need Flashpoint Batman. Like maybe that's a bridge too far.
Well, that's what the end of this issue is that Flashpoint Batman interrupts the whole thing and says, "Right, Bruce, it's time for the pirate," and he's like, so he's bringing Psycho Pirate next, and
it's the idea that Thomas Wayne is actually the one behind all this, not Bane after all. They down outright us.
So let's talk about the acetate covers finally now.
Oh sure.
That's all my shop had, and I'm very angry. Thankfully they weren't an extra upcharge, but I get to this one, and you turn the acetate cover, and it's Flashpoint Batman with marionette strings on Bane, and I was like, wait, so I had to have an extra cover for this? You could have just left the Bane cover and have this be the reveal, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing, like that would be a fine cover for next issue.
Yeah,
but that completely ruins the end of this one. Right.
I was gonna say this. I hope this pays off. I hope this is all, because I'm still thinking back to that reveal with Holly Robinson. After she put the seed of doubt into Catwoman, and you had all the villains standing there with him, and it always felt like a symbolic thing, of Skeets and the Flashpoint Batman. We always wondering like, what the hell is the Flashpoint Batman being there?
I forgot about Skeets.
Yeah. So
here's a question, more for you, Matt, because I know you just said you were kind of feeling over this. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you think he can do at the end to make you go, yeah, that was worth it? Or is it just, it's whatever it is now is just salvage?
No, it's kind of what it is. It's puttering to an end. I mean, unless he is the one that brings back Dick Grayson at the end. And if this all leads to that, I'm okay. Bring him back. Bruce quits as Batman, that's fine.
It's so weird that we're allegedly running into, okay, we're getting a new Batman under the cowl, and it's not going to be Dick.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? You got Dick right there.
If it's what's his face, if it's Duke, I am prepared to burn things down.
I believe it's supposed to be Luke, not Duke.
That's fine. I like Batwing. He's a cool character. That's fine.
I mean, it was fine when I last saw him, like 6 years ago.
No, it wasn't 6 years ago. He was a
detective. I know.
Yeah, but I liked him.
Matt, what are you rating Batman?
I'm gonna give this it's hard to go below a 7 because of the art. Because Janon's art is so good. But I think I have to give it a 6.5. Just because it felt like...
Hey, don't worry. Connor's going to drag it way further down in a second, I'm sure. Connor, what are you giving it?
Not way further down. I'm giving it a 5.5 just because the art is really nice. And part of this is, it's like an extra point for the art because it's coming off of Romita Jr.
True.
I'll give it a straight 6. So Matt liked it the most. So
that's fine. You did that on purpose.